Well, for more on the Greek debt situation, I'm joined now from New York by Nicholas Economides. He's a professor at the New York University Stern School of Business. Thank you so much for joining me. Did the Greek government effectively cave during these negotiations in Brussels?
I think the Greek government has caved almost completely, at least the way the deal looks right now. But we'll have to see what happens on Monday and to what extent the reforms that the Greek government is going to propose are going to be accepted by the so-called institutions, which is just essentially the old Troika.
Has this, though, increased Greece's chances of staying in the Eurozone?
Yes, definitely it has. But at the same time, the present deal as it's written doesn't really give any new money to Greece until after April. And the Greek government will run out of money sometime in March. So unless there is some kind of emergency aid or an ability, a loosening of conditions, which would allow the Greek government to borrow through the ECB from the Greek banks, the Greek government will still find itself in a dire position.
Okay, so what happens then with the Greek public, which has just voted in a government on the basis that that government would roll back austerity programs? They are clearly not going to be satisfied, are they?
I think they will not be satisfied, but that remains to be seen, and it remains to be seen how the government will sell this deal to its supporters. I mean, it's hard to say, but definitely the present deal is extremely close to the position of the conservative government that was in power before.
What was the real risk here? Was it beyond Greece? Was it that the EU finance ministers were actually looking at Italy and at Spain and the fear of contagion still?
I think the fear of contagion is very limited because we can see the interest rates of the bonds of those countries, Spain, Portugal, Italy, they are very low compared to the skyrocketing ones of Greece. So I don't think that contagion was an issue, but I think there was a genuine understanding that Greece can stay in the Eurozone as long as it fulfills some conditions. So essentially the Europeans put forward the same conditions that were in the older program, and the Greek government accepted them. So in practice, I don't think there is anything else to say. The real problem here is going to be in the implementation of those conditions. To what extent the present government that was elected with quite opposite aspirations will be able to fulfill those conditions, will be able to make the reforms which are exactly the opposite of what it had promised to its supporters.
Right, because it looks like the kind of suffering that the Greek population has had to endure for the past 6 years is not going to change.
Well, the real problem is that in the middle of 14, let's say April, May 14, the Greek economy was in good shape. The Greek government was able, 2 years after its bankruptcy, to sell to the international markets new bonds at 3.5%. And things looked really good. But the political uncertainty that was created by the party that eventually was elected in January, the political uncertainty completely derailed the economy. It really damaged Greece enormously. So right now, those bonds that were issued at 3.5% are trading between 15 and 20% yield. So it means that there is a lot of uncertainty. People are on a standstill, and I'm worried that the 4-month extension will keep the country in a standstill until we know what's going on going forward. So it's very, very important for Greece to attract new investment, for things to get normalized, for things to go forward, so that Greece could be a normal European country.
Okay, Nicholas Economides, thank you very much for explaining it all to us.
Thank you.